Hello. It's weird. My camera flipped on me. Nope, that's upside down. Hello, everybody. It is Friday. I haven't done a Friday live in a while. Friday has previously been my physiology Friday, where I discuss physical ailments. But as I had said on my last Friday live, is that I've pretty much run the course in discussing my physical stuff. So until something else sparks my interest and I do some research on it, or I have somebody else that wants to come on panel and talk about their physical illnesses. I don't really have any more physiology stuff to talk about. I guess it's time for me to also update my my intro. For people that are watching the Bushes replay crew, welcome. If y'all can do me a favor and let me know, I used to do Mental Health Mondays, and I was covering each week I was doing a video on a personality disorder, and I got through narcissistic, histrionic, and what was the other one that I did? I can't remember what the other one was, but there's still several more to go. Bipolar, borderline personality, antisocial, avoidant. There's cluster A still to go, and cluster C, personality disorders. So if there's any interest in me continuing to do those, if you guys can let me know in the comments, either coming into the chat during this live stream and letting me know, or leaving comments on the video. I will also put the poll out on my community tab asking, again, is there interest in me continuing to provide information at each week, doing that Mental Health Monday, discussing personality disorders, and then eventually moving on to other mental health disorders that are listed in the DSM-5. So just going to get that out of the way. I'm still interested. And you were going to be my interview for borderline personality. So if you saw my video, my short little video, you'll note that I pulled this box off my shelf and kind of went through it because I hadn't really touched the box in probably 6 months or more. Had no idea what was in it. So I kind of went through it. As you just saw, there's stuff back in the box, but it's not as overflowing as it was initially. That's because some of the stuff that was in the box actually has a home somewhere else. So it has now moved into its own home. Like I have a spot for my envelopes already. I have a place where I keep cards, et cetera, et cetera. Kind of makes me a little frustrated because I did find this, the collage pieces, but this reminds me, and it has renewed my frustration in not being able to find my brand new pickled preserves distressed ink. That's this gorgeous purple. I don't know how well that's coming across camera, but oops. Thought maybe I'd try to move my light, but that just gives it massive glare. But anyway, it is a beautiful, beautiful purple. I literally used it when I made this collage masterboard. I cut this down into, it was on a 12 by 12 sheet of paper. I cut it down into two 8.5 by 11 sheets. and put them in rack envelopes and sent them out. And this is the only strip I have left of that collage with that purple on it. And I still cannot find that distress ink in this house. And now that I've got this reminder of how gorgeous and beautiful that purple is, it has renewed my frustration that I can't find it. So maybe with all of this going through things I haven't touched in a long time, maybe, fingers crossed, it will magically appear. But before I move on to doing the cards, I'll just kind of show you some of the stuff that I did when I was going through the box, because I did find some unfinished projects in that box. So I finished some stuff up. This is not one of them. That just didn't get filed away. So I had this little mini journal. Yeah, come over to her sole purpose of finding it. This is a felted. Oh, good, you can't see it. This is all felt. So all these rose pieces. I don't remember what the base of this was, but it was this neat little fold out, and it originally flipped out like this. And I thought, oh, that'd make a cute little book. So that was what I did. So I got the felt on the outside. I did pink polka dot scrap book paper on the inside. And what was not finished with this was sewing in the signature. So I took care of that yesterday. So this one, it's got some longer pages. So I just, either leave them as fold outs, or I can glue them and turn those into little side pockets. But I believe there's two. Yeah, I think there's two of those in here. 3, 4. So yeah, 2 going in each direction. But just a cute little mini journal. Hey, Coley. Hi, sis. So yeah, just a cute little flippy journal thing. Might remember these from the idea book that I'm working in. This is the flip that you glue this into the journal like this, and it flips out, and you put a tag in here that shows through the window. I had these 2 that were not completed, so I went ahead and finished those 2. This idea came from Tina at Shabby Dabby Doodah. She does a lot of master journals, but she uses she starts with neutral tones and then embellishes them with brighter colored images as a part of the overall. And again, in this box, I had 2 long sheets of a previous collage board that was left over. So I think I need to move my chair over because I keep catching myself out of frame. So I just use my die cut machine, my Sizzix. I have these little templates that makes it look like torn paper when you cut them out. So I cut out these little windows, so to speak, in this collage board. I cut these down to 3 by 5. It was already 5 inches tall, so cut them 3 across. Just cut these little windows out, and the previously dyed lace, went ahead and glued that on. So these will be pockets within a journal. And so when you slide your tickets, your tags, or your journal cards, or whatever in, you have this little see-through window of lace on each of them. So I did 3 this way, 3 this way, and then I did them in all 3 of those walnut stain, peacock feather, and picked raspberry that I stained on that lace. Now, obviously, when I cut this out, I end up with a scrap, right? So no wasting is allowed. So I turned those into little tiny tags. Three different styles. And again, I used the scraps of the lace that I had left over from cutting these down. So I have these 3 tiny little ones that have lace on them. And when I go to use them, put some other sort of embellishment on them. And then I have these 3 of the bigger ones, right? Trying to see if I can figure out how to balance. The cool thing I did here, I turned these into little lace pockets. So little pocket, little pocket there, little pocket there, and a little pocket. I'm like, did I glue that one closed? Nope, a little pocket right there. So just, again, using up your scraps, using what you have, and trying not to have any waste at the end. I've talked before, let me get my pin out of my mouth. I've talked before about, when you're gluing stuff with glue sticks, sometimes that the edges like to come loose. That's what's going on here. So I'm just going to glue that down and set it aside because I'm not working with this one right now anyway. I cannot seem to. There we go. Just having some difficulty getting that pin in there. So Nicole, how was your guys' New Year's? So this is a playing card, and this is what I'm working on today. Make sure that glued down. And what I did with a bunch of these cards, whoops, pulling lace out, is put book page down, glued first, and then over the top of that is a layer of white napkin. So like your napkins have multiple plies. Usually the top ply has the image printed on it, and you may have 1 or 2 plies underneath it that's just solid white. Don't throw those away. I've seen people throw them away. I've seen people use them, as your dry cloth for mopping up glue, which you can, because again, you're still recycling it. You're repurposing it. But you can layer those, get them wet, and run them through your embossing machine. And then you end up with, I don't have any right now, but, you can't really see. I was hoping you'd be able to see on there. Maybe if I grab one of the solid sheets. Let's see how well, see if you can see this. There we go. So this is a sheet of homemade paper that I made. But you can see, let's see. Go away, glare. There we go. You can see the flower imprints. So those are raised. This is the back side of it, recessed, raised. But with your white paper that's left over from your napkins, if you take one of those quarters or one of those sheets and then you fold it back up into its original square, wet it down. Don't soak it wet, but spritz it with water so that the layers will stick together, and then run it through your embossing machine, and it'll do that same thing, and it'll put that imprint in that white paper. And then you can use your colored ink and or you can use your watercolor pencils, whatever. If you want to hand color it, you can use your regular ink dauber and just go lightly over the surface, and it'll color those raised images and make it stand out. Let's see if I don't know if I have enough ink on my dauber here. Nope. Ooh, let's do it. Let's do it in the raspberry. Let's do it in the pink. Oh yeah, there's always illegal fireworks, especially with us being out in the country. Even though fireworks or aerials are illegal here, doesn't seem to matter. There's always aerials shooting off every year. I love this distress ink. It's again, it's called Picked Raspberry. These are Tim Holtz distress inks. There's many. There's other brands out there. I bought mine in bulk off of Marketplace. Somebody was selling a bunch of their inks. So I had only started out. The only one I had was Walnut Stain, and she was selling her inks. I can't even remember how much she was selling them for. But I bought like 15 of them from her, so I got all kinds of new colors. But so just going over that with the Picked Raspberry, you can see how much easier that image is to see, and it gave it a nice little, just a subtle little pink, So yeah, I love doing these. I haven't figured out how to use them just yet. Such is the theme of my life, making stuff and then not knowing how to use it. Wow, not even sparklers, huh? Yeah, we can have any here anyway in my county. We can have anything as long as it doesn't go in the air legally. But again, even when we lived in Pasco, nobody listened to that. I mean, Sam, how many years in a row did our neighbor catch something on fire launching aerials? So yeah, the one that went way up in the air at 4th of July and blew up and like landed on like 5 different rooftops. I would say those were illegal for sure. Nicole, I do not sell my crafts yet. I'm hoping that between Sam, Amy, and I, we have enough inventory to be able to do the makers market at our fair this year. Other people that follow my YouTube channel and that I follow on YouTube also have mentioned doing listings on, showing them on my Instagram or on my TikTok and selling through there. But I haven't really decided. I don't know. I haven't really decided what I'm going to do with all that yet. But I don't know if you saw in my community post, this is the sample that I made this morning. So this is a Queen of Hearts card. Again, it's got that book page underneath covered with the napkin, which it gives such a really cool feel. So if you're a texture person, fun way to make things. I've backed each one of them with a coffee dyed paper. So this could be used as a journaling card if you choose to, or you can actually, glue it down and use it as a, as a side pocket or a top pocket. Ideally, you're going to want to make that decision before you waste the paper covering the back. Because obviously, if you're gluing it down as a pocket, you're not going to see the back anyway. But I have this whole stack here that I've already done. I did a long time ago. I don't even remember when. But as you can see, they're all, everything's covered on the backs. But yeah, these are all playing cards. And I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 decks of cards over there. And then I've got a deck or two of little tiny mini decks that I can play with. Playing cards are fun. The video that had the 3-fold flip out, if you saw that, those were made with playing cards. I don't think you could tell. Can't remember. I can't remember on that video. Can't remember if you can tell that if it was a card or not. I'd have to look again. As you're putting this napkin down, you can choose to make them super crinkly. Like this one's really, really crinkly. This one's really crinkly. Some of them are really smooth. You know, this one's fairly smooth. And a lot of it has to a lot of that depends on what glue you use, and how well you lay it down. So if you want it to be crinkly and crumply, you can use any glue other than the silicone. You can use your, standard wet glue. You could use a glue stick, and just make sure that when you're putting it down, you're kind of crunching it up. But it tends to do that naturally if you're using a wet glue anyway, because it's a napkin. When you put it down, it gets wet. You can't lift it back up and try again. With a glue stick, if it gets a wrinkle in it, you can carefully lift it back up and smooth it back out if you want it to be smooth. With a wet glue, you don't have a choice. Once it's down, and it's going to be wrinkly whether you want it to or not. So you kind of have to make that decision too as to what aesthetic you like. What are you going for? And in this, it doesn't really matter, because if you're using them like this, you're going to cover a lot of it anyway. But so I have 3 cards. I used my edger to round those corners back out. I have corrugated cardboard left of those. I have some of my stained paper doily that was, again, in that box. Didn't belong there. These have their own home. So I'm not sure why it was in the box. Because I keep making attempts at being organized, and what that organization ends up looking like is literally just putting stuff in a box and getting it out of my way. This is a bag of random pieces of lace that a lot of it is what I copy dyed. A couple videos ago, you saw a bunch of lace hanging off of my boom arm in a video, and that was this lace. And I also had a box hanging out behind me that had lace over all the edges of the box as it was drying. And then I also grabbed 2 of the neutral toned laces out of my drawers over there. In the vein of my word for the year, use your stuff, use your lace. Use your stuff in general, because I don't remember. I did these so long ago, I don't remember how long ago it was. So these have been hanging out in my to do that hasn't been done either. So on this card, not only is it the fabric or the napkin covered, it's got a little bit of lace hanging off here on the side, corrugated cardboard. This back here is some vintage crochet. I bought a box of lace and crochet items from an auction house here locally. I cut these out of, it was a table runner. But this thing is so old that these strings, a lot of them broke as I was cutting it apart. It's so fragile. So whatever I'm going to use those on, it's literally going to have to be solidly glued down. It can't be a flip of any kind, because it's just going to disintegrate. This is an image that I clipped out of a book, and they're hanging out in my stash. Again, a stash of images that I've cut out and never use. My word up here is wisdom. Sam, I think you printed these out for me, if I remember correctly, on your Cricut, which I still need to learn how to do. I gotta start using my Cricut. It's really bad. I have it. I hardly ever use it. And And then, I don't know how well you can see, on the four corners of my word, I have dots from my diamond painting that became little rivets for my word plate. So there we go. All right. So I only have 3 out. Dang, I'm already a half hour in. Miss Danny goes live at 3. I love watching Miss Danielle Robinson. I have her tagged in my community post. I find her lives to be she's very uplifting and very, almost said emotional, inspirational. And she does a morning show Monday through Friday, and then an afternoon show like 4 days a week. She said it this morning on her live, and I forget. Was it Monday, Tuesday, Thursday, Friday? Wednesday, Friday? As my groceries came yesterday, so I know she did Thursday. Anyway, 4 days a week she does an afternoon show. And so I don't miss out on her lives. I'm gonna try to get off of here. So I'm just we'll work on one of these. And if I have time, then we'll do another one. Well, let's do what they call mask making. So you start out and you just kind of pick, do I want to start with lace? How do we do a blue something or other? Where'd my scissors go? So very cute and country. It's got this blue floral fabric on the back, a little lacy on the front. If my iron was on, I would totally iron that because it's going to bug the daylights out of me that it ooh, hopefully you guys didn't just hear my gut rumble. So this is more of that vintage crochet that came from that box. And what I'm doing here is I'm just looking for stuff, items that will stand out, that won't blend into the background. Because again, why put something on there if it's just going to blend in, right? Corrugated cardboard is fun. I have an old stash of it. I have a brand new stash of it. And haven't used it in forever. Go figure. It's really cute, but I think I'm going to have a hard time finding an image that I'm going to like with it. But we'll see. And you have to decide, do you want your lace on top? You want the lace on bottom? How do you want it to go? How much of the card do you want covered? Which you could cover the entire card if you chose to. In fact, one of the creators that I mentioned on Wednesday, that Shinoki art, every year she does a full series. She takes a deck of cards, and she's a mixed media artist. So she uses alcohol inks, texture pastes. Yeah, her work is so cool. I love watching her videos, and I'm like, she's so talented. But every year, this is her second year doing it. Well, I'll have to look. I don't know if she started it for 2023. But 2021 and 2022, she definitely did the series. But she takes the whole deck of cards, 52 cards, 52 weeks in a year. Each year, she decorates a card. She hole punches puts an eyelet in it and puts it on a ring. And at the end of the year, you get to see 52 weeks of a decorated card. And a lot of times she does cover it completely, and you don't even know it was a playing card to begin with. But yeah, really cool stuff. I love her work. I love watching her work for sure. Let's see. My poor paper doily. I mean, it's not like it matters. It's going to get torn up anyway, right? But it's always sad when you grab a supply and realize that it didn't get that you didn't store it properly. Let's say it didn't get stored properly, but let's be honest about that. If it's not stored properly, that's my fault. I'm going to make this I'm going to go just one. One little boop. So what are you and your mom up to today, Nicole? And again, you're trying to balance. That's what you're looking for. Which I struggle with, obviously. Mm-hmm. Another blue in here. Black. See, like this is half, or not even. Well, it's half of a piece, but this was initially a chevron lace. I don't remember what this image was, but you know, just kind of cut it out so that you still have usable product. I was hoping I had some blue in here, but doesn't look like it. Ooh, I think I'm going to change my mind on that anyway. I still have some of this in here. And I like this. I'm going to be sad when I no longer have any of this. It's not a big, I mean, not big, but see, I go like this and then my hands are out of frame. It's probably maybe 2 foot by 18 inches. And I think it was originally like a tape for a table centerpiece, but it's got this and it repeats. So there's this meshy stuff here and then another row of ribbon and then more late mesh. But it's so pretty. I love it. And it's got clear sequins on it, so you get this nice little shimmer. I love it. And like most people in this world, they find themselves hoarding the stuff that they really love because they know they can't replace it. So they don't want to use it. And I'm like, but it kind of defeats the purpose if you're not going to use your stuff. But I struggle to use my stuff. My stomach is growling too. I should have eaten before I started my stream, but I laid down to take a nap. I was watching a different stream this morning, and I'm like, all right, guys, I need to go lay down, take a nap before my stream. Catch you guys later. And I exited the stream, went, laid down, took a nap. My alarm went off at 1:30, and I just about fell back to sleep. And so at 1:45, I was in here fighting with my laptop, per usual, trying to convince it. It says Predator. No clue what that book was from. I know this book or this tag, oh my gosh, this card, when I was reading the pages that were under it, that's why this one is covered as much as it is. Like there's whole center was I think it ran this way, a big piece of book page, and there was a lot of inappropriate language on it, like a lot. So I made a conscious effort to cover all of it. Literally, all you can see from that book page is this little tiny piece right here. The rest of it is covered by all the stuff. I was like, wow, okay, I'm not sure what book that came from. So again, same here. I'm reading. This one just says blonde, Dove, package, doctor, developed, and then months. But without this, let's see. Dr. Dove, package sheet. Doctor vetoed the developed neither months he was. So yeah, there's nothing really inappropriate on that one. Yay. Everything. I mean, that's the joy of doing the torn pages like that, is because it gives you some interest, because you kind of read the words and then go, I wonder what they're talking about. But if there's too many words there, it becomes very clear what they're talking about. And it may not be something that you want going into a journal, especially one that's going. Yeah, see, I kept these two out, but I don't think I'm going to use them here. So I'd have to go underneath maybe. And again, here I'm deciding, do I want it to be obvious that that's a card underneath? And if I use that image, then there's, you won't, because you're covering up. Let's see. And then green. So let's stick in that vein there. So I have these two pieces that I was going to use too, but we'll see. I could go with mushrooms. Oop, tummy growl. Nice little red flower. Let's see if I can get you guys closer without. So I am using my S10. Camera works a lot better. It focuses much quicker than the S9 does, which is nice. I'm getting a lot less of that blurring. I just wish with StreamYard there was an option to leave my camera up out of the way, because now my hands are probably going to be bumping into it. I'm going to have a lot of shadowing. But there's no option to zoom with StreamYard. I'd like to be able to keep my phone up out of the way. And be able to get closer to the images. But right now, I don't have that option with. So again, that would be something I'd have to put underneath and just have little pieces showing through. Which I'm not sure, because I really like that image. I don't think I would be happy doing that. So what do you guys think? Got that option. What else would go with the green? I could do this one. I don't think I like that one. Whoops. Well, I don't want to do that, because now everything's out of place. Obviously, things are not going to be steady until I get everything glued down. I have this one. That covers up a lot of that cardboard, though. Ooh, I think I'm about to pause and blow my nose. Not pause, mute. The first one, this one. And figure out some word to go on there. Let's see. Just cutting off that bottom row. So I have inspire, joy, kind, help, and practice. But inspire. Of course, we'll ink all that stuff up before it all gets glued down. Because, ink. Oh, I wonder. Oh, see, you and I think a lot alike. I think this might be too small. Let me go grab my smaller rounder. Okay, hold on. I need to blow my nose. We do tend to think alike. So trying to round these corners in this big old Mama Jamba. See, I'm not going to get my fingers in there. So I have this lovely little tiny one, which maybe. Oh, that's not going to work either. Too small. So what I'm trying to do is get the paper in there, but it's got to sit with the point right there. And you see it'll get lost. I don't know if I'll be able to get it back out or even get it lined up to begin with. Oh, I can't get it in there. All right, let's see how lucky I can get here. Okay, get out of there. Ah. Yeah, see my struggles, guys. Let's see if I can. Come on, I'm 3 for 3. Let's get my 4th one in there. Already started, so now I got to finish it. Well, that was a challenge. I like it better looking with the rounded edges versus the squares, but whoo-wee. Okay, so on to this one before I glue that down. Whoop. So these that were from a book, I don't remember what I cut out, but clearly whatever it was, I used a die cut to cut it out because there's no way I cut those perfect little arches. So doing a project like this is good for these kind of scraps because you can cover, I can cover that spot, right? And cover up that it was ever cut or disguise that it was ever cut simply by doing something like this. See, now the cardboard's covering, the lace is covering, or the crochet piece is covering. You would never know that there was a big old whoop cut out of there. Well, hi, Miss Lola. Kitty, kitty. Meow. Meow. She's never in here. But then, if I do that, what kind of an image am I going to put on top? Can I do just a word, do you think? Accomplish. What do you think? Just do a word across there? Love you too. Woo! That's not the one I meant to grab. So I'm used to using that one. That one's my favorite because this one actually has three different corners on it. So that one's my favorite one. It's the one that's usually on my desk. How much easier this is when I've got one that's long enough for me to hold. So yeah, these are your guides. So you get your paper, you get your corner right into there. And then you line your paper up with one of those guides on one side or the other. How much easier that was than that first one. Whoop, what do you think? This away. Some of these I picked out and thought, but I don't know. I'm gonna have to think about those. Some of them are, now that I've got them out, thinking they might be too big. Oh, I think Sam might be at the school, yeah? Same with this one. But I would have it probably sticking off the top. I wouldn't want to cut. Wouldn't want to cut any of that. All right, so I'm going to get to inking these. Where did my brown dauber go? Dauber. Oh, it's behind my lace. So with inking, oh, sent the hubby. Yay! Oh, yeah. So with inking, you can go straight on like this and get just that edge, and you'll get a nice dark lip there. Get you some ASMR going here. Now, a regular playing card by itself is not going to take ink real well. You would have to, usually, because they're waxed, you'd have to put some sort of medium on there, whether you use a gesso on there or, in this case, the napkin, the paper, whatever the case may be. But just the straight playing card by itself, a lot of the ones that I've come across do not accept the ink well by themselves. This one's coming unglued on the corner. I debated on whether or not to sew these before I came on camera, just around the edges of the card. I forgot he's off on Fridays. I forgot. Now, if you want some hewing on it, not just on the edges, you're going to kind of come in more flat. And again, see, there's another corner loose. Because this has that napkin on it, it takes the color really well. Ink up accomplish. So it stands out from the cardboard. I'm just going to give it a little, because it's printed on gray paper, like a light gray, which doesn't necessarily fit in with the color profile I've got going on here. I'm going to give some ink to the outer edge of this image. And that just knocks back some of that white. I mean, this is what's called kiss or fussy cutting. So you got an image and you kind of roughly go around the outside of it using, or leaving just an edge of white. You could kiss cut, which gets you like right up on it. Like this is kiss cut. So it doesn't have that white outline around it. For something like this, holy moly, no thank you. Hey, Rinrock, how are you? How's your day going? Let's start with this one. I didn't even look to see if you had a live this morning. When I woke up, Danny was still live. So I jumped in to catch hers, and then I jumped over and caught somebody else's live. I didn't even look to see if you had one this morning. So I went from Danny's to somebody else's to my pillow for a nap, and now on to my live. So I haven't even gotten a chance to look. So as you can see with this one, I'm leaving some hangover. Artistic choice. You can every morning 8:30. Okay, I'll have to catch yours on the replay for sure. Showed her what Lizzie McGuire looked like, and she was like, "Oh, I love it." How's your back doing? So yeah, you can choose to leave this hanging over, or you can snip it off. Depends on what what your personal preference is. What I did on this first one was I went over the top of the corrugation with my dauber as well, just to kind of give it a little dimension. I need to make myself some more gesso because that would be cool too, to do some colored gesso on there. Don't know how many more projects I'm going to be able to do. Oh, good. As somebody with back problems, I mean, that obviously was like my first concern, was that, you were going to have a, significant impact with your back. It wasn't a car wreck that messed my back up the first time, but pretty sure that's what did me in, what herniated the discs both in my neck and my lower back was my last car wreck. So I'm running out of glue, running out of my Fabrifix. I have a little bit left. So that was what I started to say, is I don't know how many more projects I'm going to get to do until my glue gets here. And according to Amazon, it's due in 5 to 10 days. Hopefully it gets here sooner than that. Come on. This is the problem. This bottle, it's got tape around it because there's a hole in the bottle. But it still lets air in. So my glue is a lot thicker than it normally is. So it's not flowing. And like, come on, give me the glue. There we are. Now we're coming out slowly. Oh, good. My goodness gracious. Yeah. Ow. I should not try to do that with that hand. Or do I want to put that over or under? Let's go under. So again, this is Fabrifix. It's fabric to fabric, paper to paper. You definitely want to use it when you're gluing anything of any kind of substance, any kind of fabric, except for, so like something thin like this, you can usually get away with using just a glue gun, or not a glue gun, a glue stick. You can use a glue gun too. Oh, good Lord. Like I need one more thing to plug in on this hot mess of a desk, right? And things that have texture, you're going to want to use something other than, your typical white school glue. Oops, it's 3 o'clock already. Rinrock, do you know, has Danny gone live yet? Mute this for a second. Okay, I don't see Danny live just yet. To try to remember how I did all those ones, what order I put them in. So this is a good example. So the napkin didn't glue well. So rather than, you can see where this is going to turn out to not be a good example because this is actually a card that's taken the ink well. So I'm just going to kind of go over that edge, ruffle that edge up a little bit. Oh, I think I covered that edge anyway. Haha, never mind. Oh, that napkin did not stick well at all. And that happens. Again, when you're working with playing cards, you're usually, you're dealing with a waxy surface, a slick surface. And you can't use the Fabrifix to glue down a napkin because it'll show through. So your options are limited. You can use a matte medium. You could use a Mod Podge, decoupage glue, any kind of wet glue, really, like the PVA type glues. But dealing with the glue stick, like I said, sometimes it does not stick the way you want it to. I looked up, I'm like, did I unmute or am I sitting here talking to myself? I did. It's kind of, most of this doesn't show. I'm covering up most of it, but that's okay. This was an image that came out of one of the books I actually purchased. It's funny, have all these other ink colors, and I usually end up using walnut stain. Inked. And we're not inking the lace or the fabric. Put the inks away. So yeah, this was like a page border, and I've got it, and it like went this way, and then there was an image, and then this repeated this way down the rest of the. So I've got several of these cutouts. Same with this one. This was a page border, and it had it at the top, and then it goes like, you know, a mirrored image of this on the other side of the top. So I've got lots of these ones too. I got my Fabfix laying on its side, so hopefully it cooperates a little better. Here's my wet glue. Waist deep in laundry, eh? Oh, and I need to really see, and out of habit, I normally do. I glue with the right hand, and it really hurts right now to do that. But I keep doing it out of habit, and then I'm super stubborn. And it's like, well, I've already started, so I don't want to stop. It's already in my hand. Is this my piece of cardboard? I think it was. Folding, but that means you at least got to wash it, right? See, it doesn't help that because the air keeps getting into the glue, it doesn't flow as nicely as it normally does. Which is also making it very hard for me to squeeze. Oh, at the laundromat. Yuck. This image, see, there's some of that. To me, it looks like wheat stalks on there. I think I'm done with my wet glue. So I get this pin out of my mouth while the glue is working its way down to the tip. My left hand isn't much better as far as squeezing the glue goes, but it is a little bit. Having to make all these physical adjustments is not working well with my brain. And then almost done with my Tom and Jerry, so I'm going to have a ton of round ones left. Go get 4 of these out. 1, 2. Ooh, way more than 4. 1, 2. If I can count 4 that are already facing the right way, that would be fantastic. Because these are a pain to use in this manner. Trying to get some glue up under there. Just so it can glue better to that corrugation there. And I think because I rounded it out, I'm not going to do the 4 corners. So I just ran a bead of Fabrifix across the top. And I'm just going to put 3 little diamond gems there. Try to space them out. Oh, just a little decorative touch there. Put my lid on my glue. Sorry, I was just checking with my YouTube again. Oh, I didn't put any on accomplish. Do I want any on accomplish? I think I'm trying not to dig into my other ones over there because I don't want to have to deal with pulling them all out. Of course, now that I put my glue, so I'm gonna turn that upside down. Whoop, 1, 2, 3. Rule of 3 when it comes to crafting. Although if I was following the rule of 3, that says I've got way too much on here because there's already 1, 2, 3, 4 elements. But oops. I have a 4th one, so I may just use it. I think instead of putting it on the word this time, I'm going to go across the corrugation here. Just below it. I can't see what I'm doing. 1, 2. Get off the pen. Get off the pen. Thank you. I'm out of glue. That one's smaller than the rest. That's funny. Okay, bounce it off of there then, and come on, glue. Yeah. Yep. Okay. You glue into the tip. Come on. Doesn't help that the glue's almost empty either. I'm like, I need the glue to be wet. When the glue finally came out, didn't feel wet. All right, now I think I can put the glue the right way. All right, so here was the original one, the first one that I did. And then here's the 2 that we did together. I have to add a little bit more wet glue here. So we got, hold on, let me get the spit out of my mouth. We got inspire. And accomplish. Again, I put the, hard to see on camera, but I put the beads down here on top of the corrugation. So 3 down, a whole bunch more to go. But I'm going to go ahead and end for today. Hopefully you guys found some inspiration in what we did today. And as always, feel free to ask any questions in the comments, provide any feedback you have. I'm always open to whatever anybody has to say. And again, please let me know if you are interested in continuing to learn about personality disorders as well as other mental health conditions for Mental Health Mondays. So, with that, I'm going to go ahead and say goodbye for today. Find yourself some nice and peaceful things to do for yourself, and you find peace in your world. All right. Peace out.